Oh, I think maybe live. Again, trying this again. Um, so I promised that I would be back. And I am now back. Let me get everything set up and then good to right. So here we go again. So we are I was asked at our earlier live where we were just breaking down some numbers using the random number generator. Um, One of the last questions was about manifestation. So I I think I'll wait to talk about manifestation just to make sure that what all needs to be said can be said because there's actually a lot with manifestation. There's a lot of options with manifestation. So we'll see what comes up in our messaging. So thank you for being here. As you come in or as you watch, please make sure to like and subscribe. And feel free to put any questions in the chat. I'm going to so we're just being random today, and we're going to spin the random number generator and see what it gets us. I'll break down those numbers, those vibrations, and then use that to direct us to be able to look at some of um, the other videos and shorts on some of these channels. See what messages we get. So, all right, here we go. So let's go over to the random number generator. I'm really loving this thing. It's a lot of fun. So let's see what we get. And this, oh my gosh, the universe got jokes, jokes for days. I'm telling you, the universe really thinks it's funny. Well, and it makes sense because so all of the vibrations that are around us really are reflections of us because we're made of vibrations and we're made of energy also. Um, we really resonate the same. And so we get a lot of the same kind of behaviors that we regularly give. That's what we get back from the universe because it's like mirroring us. Kind of the same way as like when you have real little kids. When they get older and they do it, they just being annoying. But when they're younger and they're like mimicking you and they're like trying to learn how to do things, um, that's kind of what the universe does too. So that is an actually good information in manifestation. But I say that all because I think it's pretty funny that in the earlier live, anybody that wasn't there, if you go back and watch it, we kept getting numbers that were reflective of this 8-8 portal. And here it's happened again. So that random number wheel goes from 0 to 999. And we have pulled, I think, um, three numbers. And out of those three random numbers, we've gotten two that have had two eights in it. And then when we've gone and we've looked at um, when we've gone and we've looked at what videos to watch that related to that number, we found two more numbers that had 8-8 in it in a portal formation. This one is not in a portal formation, but it's still pretty funny. So 588 So first of all, I guess we do have to, and especially if there's um, anybody that comes to this and not the first one, or is here that wasn't here before. Um, Today is this special 8-8 portal, and we have these portals every single month. Because every month we have where the day and the month are a similar vibration. But this year, all of these portals are stronger because the month is actually vibrating at its same order. So, like, January always is the first month, but it doesn't always resonate that way. That's why we can have different calendars that are really representative of the same vibration. And so, but this year, January is vibrating at a 1. And the whole year, they're vibrating actually at their same numerical value in the order that they're in. And so it's making these portals even stronger. And so when we have these portals this way, we are building up all this energy. It's like moving like a whirlpool. So we can draw energy in for manifestation reasons, but then we can also use it to push energy out into the world and release. And so that's really big today, especially. So it's also really big because, oh, thank you. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Also super big because anytime we have anybody that's really wanting to um, have the same mindset about a vibration or about a number, this is why like angel numbers are so powerful. It's more because people believe that they are. Where really they are similar vibrations to any other number that's representing a vibration. People have just decided that they feel different, which they do, and that they're more powerful. And so, with that collective acceptance, that's what makes it even more powerful. So, this 8-8 portal becomes even more powerful because it's related to Sirius, the star system Sirius. And there's several groups of people throughout history, mostly from ancient civilizations, that recognize Sirius as a really important star system. So Egypt, the Dogons in Africa, the Mayans in South America, all of those ancient civilizations are building their buildings to align with Sirius. Like Sirius is a really important star system and related to this portal. And so that makes this portal, this Lion's Gate. And also, I don't think I said this earlier today, but Lion's Gate also comes from the Mesopotamian goddess Inanna, who was like the first goddess, and then she became Ishtar. And then after that, like all of the Egyptian goddesses and all of the Babylonian goddesses, all those goddesses really were mimicked after Inanna, and Inanna is honored today on 8-8. And so it's a lot of the goddess energy as well, which makes it pretty powerful. So, okay. So then that again, the universe is saying, all right, you got to talk about this 8-8 portal because our random number generator decided that we needed to again. So we do have this 88 here. And so when you have two or three or even multiple numbers together that are the same vibration, so these are two 8 vibrations that are sitting next to each other, it's creating an amplified sound. It's creating an amplified vibration. That's actually why angel numbers feel so much different and why they catch your attention. They're really used to catch your attention, to say, hey, you have a message. There's something important to pay attention to here. Because they have those similar vibrations that are sitting right next to each other, and it's like creating momentum. It's like revving an engine. And so what we have here is that this energy of this 8-8 portal is creating this momentum. But you'll see also in our earlier video that the big message of the day was change. And here we have it again. So what this is letting us know is that we need to use the momentum from this 8-8 portal to really pay attention to our cycling energy. Any cycling energy. So these are any cycling energy could be your habits. Oh, hi, baby love. Your routines. This is also karma. Do you see this, baby love? Do you see what the random number generator pulled up? Another 588. So I guess the message is clear. Thank you for coming back. So habits, routines, karma, any kind of patterns. It could be patterns in your thoughts, in your behaviors. Also, when we see a lot of the patterns in our relationships where it's like, it's coming back again. Like, oh, great, we're dealing with this again. Or, oh, this again. For depending on your perspective. So these 8s are really letting us know that this portal energy, like these 8s are coming up really heavy today, which makes sense because it's 8-8. But it's wanting us to really look at these cycling energies, all of these habits, these routines, this karma, all of these patterns, and really make sure that we are getting the ones together that are helping us move forward. Because with these 2 8s right there, we're revving the engine. We can make some really good change here. We can really get going, really have some good momentum if we make sure that we are paying attention to those habits and routines. Because if we have like one routine, like I know myself, like I have some good routines of like, oh, I'm going to before I do something fun, I'm going to try and finish this work project. I'm going to try and, make sure to check emails, blah, 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 even though I hate doing it. But I try and do that before I do other things so that I can get in a good routine. So you could have a good routine that's helping you move forward, but at the same time have a bad habit that's also this 8 energy. So like I have the bad habit of sometimes I find every reason to procrastinate. And then that could break the good routine, or it could slow down the good routine. So it's figuring out which of these cycling energies are really helping us move forward and which are slowing us down. And still at the same time being kind to ourselves because we're human. So we're all going to have these habits and routines and patterns and karma that are going to be taking us both ways. But when we recognize them and take accountability for them, now we actually have more control and we're not just getting flip-flopped all over the place because of them, but we actually can direct that energy a little bit more. So we use this 8-8 energy really understanding what routines and habits and patterns we want to break and which we want to put in place or amp up, then that really could help us get to a place of change. So we always, when we're reading these vibrations, so I want to make sure that I say this every time we talk so that it gets easier for everybody. So when we write the numbers and when we say the numbers, we always go from left to right. But when you're actually reading the vibrations, you go from right to left, where this number is your first step. It's the first thing that you need to do to be able to get to the second step. So it is like you're on a staircase, and you can act like you have really long legs and just skip steps. I remember doing that as kids, trying to skip steps. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't work out too well. But it's better if you hit every step, because also at each step is a build up of energy. So you're using the energy from the lower steps to be able to get to the higher steps. And so then this is your third step. So these two 88s are working together to build up energetic momentum that is coming from our habits, routines, karma, and patterns, any of that infinitely cycling energy, and we're funneling it all towards making a change. And so then that's what this 588 is really telling us. And if we then add this up, I lost my pen there for a second. So then I'm just gonna move this up a bit. Oop. We add this up, 5 plus 8 plus 8 is 21. And so by taking these steps and getting to this change, now you can have new energy coming in that'll help you not be in a state of dualism. And 2 is one of the hardest vibrations to discuss because we live in a dualistic world energetically. And so we're used to the dualism, but we really aren't supposed to have to deal. We really are supposed to be able to not be pulled so much back and forth between like extremes, but be actually able to bring them together to create something new. So by making this change, it allows you to be able to bring in this new energy. That's what this 1 is. That'll help you use that energy to bring together your extremes, so that you're not getting tossed back and forth so much. And then this becomes real growth. So what do we think? Does that make sense? Okay. So what I'm gonna do now, so we have our 588 is our number right now. Still creeps me out because like the whole earlier live that I did was all about 8 and 5. Lots and lots of change. So, okay, universe, we hear you. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go over to these different pages I have. I think I'm gonna start from the opposite direction. We get somebody new. We're going to look at shorts and see if we can find, we are either, so what we'll be looking for is like something around 588. Maybe we saw a lot of like 88s earlier. 21 or 3, so that we can see if we have any additional messages. Here we go. So we ended up on Vegas Unlocked, which is cool because I was hoping to be able to get this second live in before they went live so that I could go into their chat. So I'll be heading that way after this is over. But let's see if we can find any of these numbers. So for anybody that wasn't here earlier, what usually happens is there's one number. For a lot of people, it's an angel number. For me, it could be any number. And when you get sensitive to actually reading these vibrations, then it becomes any number. But you get that and it like catches your attention. And then you have to dig it a little bit deeper to be able to find more of the message. So if you are seeing angel numbers, you need to do some kind of documentation to start trying to understand what this messaging is. But this is another way you could do it. Like if you see an angel number, then you could just go online and the next number that you see could be what's giving you these messages. So let's see. All right, let's look. What do we got here? And so all I'm looking at is the number of views, because these are the vibrations that are like coming from it's usually the names. So everybody and everything uses a name, and like your life path number are your main residences. So when we're looking like through videos, you could look at the views and you could look at the titles to see where your messages are. Well, they've got a lot of portal numbers in here, but I don't see any 88 portal numbers, at least not yet. And let's see. Oh look, here's a couple of 21 3s. Let's look at the Wheel of Fortune slot machine. So we have a 21 right here. So our numbers added up. So our 5, 8, and 8 added up to 21. And so we have 2 videos right here. And even if they don't directly tell you what a message is, you know how sometimes things can just be inspiration and it gives you certain thoughts? That it's to help you along. Even if the only thing it does is calm your brain, so then you could actually listen to what message is coming through. Let's look at it. All right, let's take a look.
Big money. Big money. Big money.
Let's see what. Oh, big money. Big money. Wheel of Fortune. Hilarious. 200. We just were talking about the 2. So look at all these numbers here. I can't actually go into casinos because it really messes with me. But look, a 200. We just were talking about 2. So let's come out of here. We'll go back to our... Thank you, Vegas Unlocked, for giving us that. If I could do this all day, I would, because this is the fun part. So, what we would take from that is that 200 is the next number. So if 588 was the one to get attention, So if we have, okay, 588 is what got our attention. It's what said, hey, you have an important message here. It's related to the 8-8 portal and change. So this is giving you some initial information, and it's bringing your attention to the messages that are coming through. Now, the next number that we saw in the video was 200. So now what this is saying is, because it goes in this order. Oh, let me move this over. I keep forgetting that other new box is over there. So basically these are the steps. The first step or layer, and actually I'm just gonna give us a brand new page and we can go back here. But the first layer of these vibrations, and you're gonna hear me repeat this, like I want to repeat it so many times that everybody gets it. So the first layer is always your attention getter. It's the number that's trying to get your attention. A lot of the times, this is where your angel numbers are. It's just trying to get your attention. And so ours was 588. Now, if you are seeing the same angel number over and over again, then it's similar to 588, where it has more of a message in it, and not just getting your attention. But if you're seeing multiple angel numbers, where every time you see an angel number, it's a different angel number, that a lot of the times it's just trying to get your attention, that there's another message coming or trying to come through. And so then we have what got our attention. And so then you have your next level of vibration, because really what this is it's like their vibrations are all like woven together, but it's kind of like I don't know if you've ever seen like how they make the electrical wires, where on the inside is where you have like the copper that will conduct the electricity, and then on the outside it's like the plastic or the rubber, and then even on the outside of that might be the color. That's what these layers are. So it's digging through the layers to actually get to where the electricity is, to actually get to the message. So then our second number is 200, and this is now this is an importance. So where this one was attention, so this is like attention, attention, breaking news. And then this one is like importance. And so what our importance here for this 2 is, the first thing that we notice is that we have these 2 zeros. Oh wow, I did not mean to make that big, my bad. I got a little excited. My bad. Sorry, 2. There we go. So we have these 2 zeros. So just like the 8s, it's building up this momentum. It's building up a lot of energy to be used for this 2. But in this case, the 0 is like divine God energy. It's like this energy that comes directly from source. It comes directly from the universe or God. And it's like, this is what's being used to help push it forward. Like it's, like if ever you've had those moments where you just didn't think you could do it anymore, but then all of a sudden you got the last little bit of energy that you needed to be able to take that one last step. That's the 0. That's that universal like God energy. So we have some really good energy coming in to help us with this too. So we have the universal energy coming in, and it's saying, look, working on this too is really important. It's really important to understand what are the extremes, what are the things that are pulling you back and forth between them, and making it hard for you to make this change. And remember, our 5 is change. So, what are the things that you're getting caught up in, moving back and forth between, or getting swayed back and forth? What are the things that are causing that? And if you listen to your intuition, that's where you can hear the 0 energy. This is where you can hear the God energy. So just being contemplative of like, what are these extremes? And so common extremes are just like people, should I be in a relationship or not? Should I put more effort and time into building my career or into my home? Like, do I worry more about my health or my money? And seemingly those things are opposite and like pulling you back and forth. But the goal of a 2 is to find a way that you can bring them together to create something new. So, like for the last one, like your health or your money. Well, you could do something like I did, where I was like, I want to eat healthier, but the healthiest food is like so freaking expensive. And so instead of like paying all my money to the expensive grocery stores, I found a local farmer or farmer's market, or there's community gardens that you can go and be a part of, and you help plant, and then you also get some of that food back from them. That would be a 2, where instead of getting pulled back and forth, you're finding a solution that works for both. So instead of spending your money, you're spending your time, you're putting in effort, you're contributing to your community to be able to then also get that healthy food for your health. So that's our importance message. And sometimes it stops there. Sometimes it stops there, but if it doesn't, because everything can take you on a deep dive, regardless of what it is. We see that just even when we think about like the movies we watch or the music that we listen to, that there's certain songs or certain scenes that could take you on a whole big deep dive. And there's others that you get the message and the information right there on the surface. So they're not all going to be like super deep. Most of them are just these 2 steps. Most of them are either here's your attention, and either the attention just gives you the message you need, or you get an importance. But there are some other levels. So we have another level that can be all about action, where if there's specific action that you need to take, it could tell you that, but it usually tells you that after it tells you why it's important, because the universe knows us, and humans don't do well with just taking action off of faith. We usually have to know why. We usually have to know why we're taking the action, and that's why we need the importance. Oh, great! Hello, thank you for coming. I'm so glad. So we can have another layer to this message of like action. So then if after this 200 there was another number that came up, now there's something else. But also this could just be these 2 numbers together. So like if we went ahead and took the 588 plus the 200. I know I don't need a calculator for this, but I'm going to use it anyway because it makes me feel better about myself. And we get 788. Now, this could be what our action is. And it's actually probably very accurate because we have a 7 in here, which is action. And we still retained this 88. So, this is actually, oh my gosh. I cannot get away from this number. Okay, I'm gonna show you. And quality, I think you started it. You messed me up. So if we take 7 plus 8 plus 8, it equals 23. 23 has been coming up all over the freaking place. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. So much so that I actually have a 3-part series that's coming out of videos that are all on I Am. Because 23 is the numerical vibration of I Am. But we all, any of us that were in Quality's live earlier this week, we also saw that 23 is the numerical vibration of the word fake. And this 23 keeps coming up all over the place. But this 23 now takes us back to the 5 of needing to change. Yeah, you've witnessed it, baby love. You can't make this shit up. Like, it just keeps coming up. It's haunting me. It wants to be heard. And so that could be, and which is probably is, our last level, which is the outcome. And that's this 23.5. So here's the whole message. Here's the whole message we got from what we were looking at. So we did the random number generator. And got 588 because the universe thinks it's funny. And so it was reminding us again that today is the 8-8 portal and there's lots of energy coming in. And so we need to be aware of this infinitely cycling energy. So this energy that's continuously cycling around, and it's our habits, it's our routines, it's anything, any patterns that we have in our life, anything that's always coming back around. We need to be aware of that because this energy is building momentum towards change, and that's the 5. So the 5 of change. Man, I used all my colors. What color can I use? All right, here. So this attention, it's getting our attention. Hey, look, 8-8 on 8-8. Important to be aware of because change needs to happen. But then when we went and we looked in the videos and we found the video that was 21 that related, because this adds up to 21, we were able to find the video that told us that 200 was important. So look here, here's an 8-8 message about change. Why it's important is that the universe, God, this divine energy is telling you that you need to be aware of the extremes that are in your life that are pulling you back and forth. That's why it's important, because we need to address this moving back and forth. We need to bring those things together. We need to use this energy to bring it together. And then the action we can take is we need to look at, pay attention to, and look at these infinitely cycling energies. Look at your karma. Look at your habits, look at your routines, which ones are helping you move forward towards your goals and which ones are slowing you down. And let's tidy up. But make sure that all the action you take is in flow, because the 7 is action in flow. So this is not forcing action. It's taking the action exactly how it's meant to be taken and flowing with it. So it's not saying I'm gonna do this because I want to. It's really waiting for the right time. So if you know that to be able to reach your goal, you need to make a connection with somebody, you can take the action to reach out to them, but then you have to sit back and be patient and just let it flow in. Or you wait for the perfect time to make that connection so that the timing is right, so then the connection can be made. That's what action and flow is. And then by doing that, you actually will get to a place where now you are able to build and change into this new form of yourself, this new I am. Now, you have to remember that all of these vibrations are neutral. And we've seen this. We've seen this with some of our 23 people. We've talked about this. Some of these 23 swirling around people and how their new identity looks really fake or looks so different in a negative way. So because these vibrations are neutral, people can think they're making like some big, huge, momentous change. They're really doing something, and it actually is a terrible change or is not something that's actually very helpful for them. So then this gets us this whole message. So it all came down to that what's most important, once again, is making this change. But it's telling you how to do it and why it's important and what kind of change it is. So it's a change to your identity. It's a change to who you are and what you represent. And so that's what makes this a really important message. I hope that made sense. We're going to just keep going over these over and over again so that could start getting because I know so many people are seeing the angel numbers and like certain numbers keep coming up like 23, but also certain words keep coming up like karma. Like this week, that's the other thing that's been driving me nuts is the word karma. Karma has been coming up so much. But what's really interesting is that let me show you this. Is that karma, so the word karma, its numerical vibration is 44, which of course is another 8, because why not on 8-8? But because it's just a vibration, it means that lots of words and lots of names and phrases can resonate at the same. So karma, from one person's perspective, could be somebody else's hope or somebody else's faith. So where it's that 8 energy that's coming back around, if from somebody's perspective that's seen as a negative thing, now that can be perceived and named as karma. Whereas if this energy coming back around is like, oh, it's a reward for my hard work or for my faith, I've been faithful and loyal, and so that's what it is. So then it can be perceived as faith, or it could be perceived as a message of like, okay, because this is coming back, that means that this reap what you sow is actually working or not working, and it could give you hope. It also could give you hope if you see somebody else getting their karma. I know it's a bit petty of me, but it's real. Like somebody else could be experiencing karma, and to you, you see it and you're like, oh, that gives me hope that this reap what you sow actually works. And so I'm going to be able to continue to put out good, positive energy, knowing that whoever's not is going to get theirs. So, yeah, karma keeps coming up a lot, but especially this week. There's lots of use of the word karma. But if you think back, so there's probably around this time last year, so around this time, like this end of kind of summertime, there was a lot more talk of hope, of like having hope, or we hope things go this way, or we're hoping for this, or we finally have some hope. But it's that same vibration. So it's really interesting to see what is how these vibrations like ebb and flow and fluctuate, and they're all telling like a bigger story. It's kind of like all of these vibrations are coming together to make like this bigger, larger tapestry, and together you get the whole picture. You get the whole pattern, and you can pick out and read each individual one, and sometimes some are resonating stronger and brighter than others. Oh yeah, this is fun. Fun stuff. Okay, should we do another random number? What do you think? I'm just shooting from the hip today. That's different for me. Usually I have a big grand plan. Okay. Let's see. Let's try to figure out where I needed to go. Okay. I'm trying to find our big wheel. I know it's there because I can see it up on the screen, but I gotta find it. All right, so let's do another random number. Here we go. I love this big wheel. I might start doing this like every week. What do you think? Like a number of the week? Something we could look out for? That might be a good little short each week. All right, here we go. Spinning. 131. Woohoo! Finally one without 8. Except I think we got another one before without 8. But this is still a portal number. Oh, welcome back, Tarot Gothis. Well, you got it. Here, we got another number. So, oh my gosh. What? Why are you being random, Pen? So we got 131. You're right. Look at your fast math. So we have 131, which Tarot Gothis has pointed out is still a 5. So even though we didn't get any 8s, we still have this 5 of like, hello, the point is change. The point is to make a change. And again, you can't make this shit up. Like, this is a random number generator where I just push the button and it gives me a random number. So if you don't believe at this point that the universe is talking to us, stick around. I'm sure this will happen every time we're using this thing. But so we didn't get the 8-8 that we have been seeing, but what we did get is a portal number. So whenever we have the same vibration on either side, it like cycles around because they want to be near each other. You know, it's like birds of a feather flock together. They want to be together. And so they're creating like this whirlpool portal, and it's pushing out this 3. Everybody's gonna know what 5 is after today. 3 is growth. But yes, 5 is change. So the ultimate goal is change. But then these other path can tell us, these other steps can tell us how to get to that change. So it's this new energy that's coming in. This new energy that's coming in is creating this portal that's growth. And so it's telling you that you have to allow this new energy to come in to allow you to grow. And also, I think it's very important to recognize that we still have our steps here, but there's layered steps. So I'll show you what I mean. So we have our 131, where our first step is the 1. It's to let in this new energy. And new energy could be like being open to a new idea, being open to a new way of doing something, being open to a new path, to a new possibility. It's being open to any of this new energy. And not just immediately shutting it out, but being open to it. Once you're open to it, now that energy can help you to begin to grow. And this one is still working with this other one to amplify this 3. And also how this is happening. This is the layers I was talking about, where 3 is to grow, but when a 3 comes after or before a 1, it comes with the 1 as a 13. 13 is actually the biggest change you could make. This is like transformation. This is like a huge transformation that you're making. This is like when people talk about a death and a rebirth, like you're a whole new person, like you're a whole different person. That's what 13 is. And it really is, because it's completely impacting your foundations. It's changing the whole foundation of who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it. So not only are we getting this growth, but we're growing from this huge transition. And from that is where we actually are getting to the change. So we're going through this huge transformation that's changing all of our foundations, and that's where we're getting to the 5 of change. So real quick before we go and we use this 131 to look for different videos, I just am going to give you a quick rundown so we have it in the recording of the numbers 1 through 9. So 1 through 9 are what we're using, and actually 0. So we'll start with 0. So 0 is our divine energy. This is that God energy, this universe energy. This is the one energy that we cannot control. We just have to be blessed to be given it. Like, we have no control over it whatsoever. But then 1 is new energy. 2 is like coupling or bringing together those extremes. So it's bringing together energy. So just think about the 11. So it's 2 of those new energies that are being brought together so that you can make something new. That's the 2. And then let's do a different color so it doesn't get too confusing. So then 3 is growth. 4 is foundations. 5, we all know now, is change. 6 is comfort. 7 is action and flow. 8 is infinitely cycling energy. I can't spell infinitely, so you could just add that on to your screenshot or something. Cycling energy. And then 9 is the end of a cycle. It's the end or the completion or the shifting. So like this year, we're in a year that adds up to 9, but it's a shifting energy. So like things really aren't ending, the energy is just being shifted. So 9 can be any of those, and I'll hold this for a minute so you could get a screenshot if you can read my crazy handwriting, and if you can't, let me know and I will let you know what it actually says. But how these vibrations work together is they work together in a cycle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you'll see, like in my monthly videos, I talk about what are the 9 cycles for the month. So it's where you can use how this energy naturally moves to build up energy to actually take big action or make big changes or manifest something big. And because we have these 9 cycles every single month. Sometimes we have 2, sometimes we have 3. I like that, Tarot Goddess. Yeah, it makes sense why 9 is your favorite, huh? Yes. Hmm. But the 9 doesn't always mean an end. That's why I wanted you to see it as a cycle also, because it could just be taking that energy, because we can't make or destroy energy. So it could just be taking that energy and pushing it over to something new. And then you're starting the cycle again, because all vibrations actually are shaped like a spiral. Woo, or like a spring like this. And so as you're building up, you're going through this cycle and you're building up the energy. That's actually how you're manifesting. You're just building up enough energy for it to be able to go into it. Hey, and that's what I said at the beginning, that we needed to talk about manifesting. But and here it is. Here's our manifestation lesson. So it's going through these cycles, and but really being intentional of how you're moving and using that vibration and using that energy to build up the energy and then put it into a specific intention. So anything that is like physical, so when you're trying to, and usually we're trying to manifest physical things, that's just a lot of energy buildup. So you use a lot of routines. That's why a lot of like the manifestation things are all about like a ritual. It's like saying your affirmation every single day. It's really making sure that you are having certain routines. It's honoring the cycles of the moon and like whatever you do, because we do a lot of manifestation stuff without even knowing it, because it all it is a building up of energy and then focusing it in a certain way towards what we want to manifest, towards our vision, towards our goal. So even if you're just thinking about it in a physical way, like all of the steps, like the work that you're doing, to like add energy towards the goal, that's manifestation. So manifestation really isn't stuff just coming out of the blue for you. It's you being intentional in how you're building up that energy so it can go towards what you're trying to manifest. Does that make sense? Sometimes I just be listening to the universe and it'd be telling me what to say, and then I have to stop and think about it myself. I think that makes sense to me. What about to you? Does it make sense? Okay. Okay, good. But we'll talk about it more because really everything we're doing, so when we're using portal days like today, when we're doing things that are intentionally pulling in the energy, that builds it up. When we use the 9 cycles throughout the month, that builds it up. When we're intentional and understanding like what's happening with the moon energy, builds it up. When we're intentional and we have our routines that we're keeping just in our everyday life, that's helping to build up that energy. So I don't know if you've ever noticed, but a lot of the um, like billionaires, multimillionaires, they don't change their outfits very often. And yes, the women have to more than the men because that's the society we live in. But one of the reasons they don't, and if you actually watch like a day in the life of a lot of those people, they have very boring lives because they have the same routine. They keep the same routine. They wear the same thing. They eat a lot of the same things. Like they're not breaking their routine very often. Even like their savings routines or their investment routines. Like Warren Buffett talks regularly about the regular investment routine that he always used. It's because it's a buildup of that energy and then being intentional of where it's going. So it's not using the energy in ways that don't serve you. I don't know how necessarily wearing just a black turtleneck instead of a red one doesn't fully serve you, but you know, if they believe that that's saving them energy, then that's what it's for. That's the intention and the importance of it. because you want to build up the energy but also direct it to the way you want to go. Okay, so that was a little bit longer than I expected it to be, but good stuff. Good stuff all the same. So let's go back up here. Okay, so we're at 5. So I'm gonna go and see what channel we're at for 5. Let's see. It'll be the same either way, but we already looked at that one. All right. So somebody give me a number between 1 and 4. Thank you. Okay, 3. So let's see. That's funny. It still gets us like the same ones. Okay. Okay, let's try 4. Because 3, let's see, 3 got us ones that we've already looked at. Okay. So let's go here. Okay, we'll look at these last 2. So let me bring you all over here. Uh-oh, somebody's getting good at working at this OBS. Don't make no sense to me, but it's all good. We're getting there. So here is our number 4 channel. Oh no! Came on here and I saw Vegas Unlocked is live, so can't stay much longer. I gotta go to their live. But let's see if we can find any of our numbers. So the numbers that we are looking for, we have the 131, but also that 5 keeps coming up a lot. And I guess we can look at 23 also if it comes up. Let's see. Oh, these are our options. So out of these options, I think the one that makes the most sense is here. Because look, this is 252, which is a portal number, and 131 is a portal number also. So that I think makes the most sense. So I'm gonna play this. Oh, oh, that's what we doing, huh? Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Oh wait, we gotta wait for the second one. It kind of looks like Jitten. We gonna have to ask. But it kind of looks like Jitten, but it doesn't look like the Jitten I'm used to, like in Detroit. So that was our 252. So I'm gonna come over here and write that number down. And then we'll go look at the last page so everybody is seen. So we had 131 and we had 252. Okay, I'm coming back. Coming back with you, I think. So the last one that we need to look at is Slay Queen, who hopefully is sleeping so soundly. But let's see. So we're looking for 131, 23, 5, or portal numbers. Okay, so these are our options. What do you think? I know what I think. I want to know what you all think. Which one is standing out? Thinking about the numbers we've already seen. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. This 155 also caught my eye. So we'll play a little bit of it just so we can make sure to like it. But this is a long one. So make sure to... Oh, I guess I already watched this one. I guess I'm one of the 155. So you'll have to go in and give this one a like so that it gets some movement. I'm curious while we're here also, because I just realized that we didn't look at your page earlier, Baby Love. So let's just see if we've got a message here also. Ooh, look at this. 161 right there. That's a good portal number. I love your posts. They're great. Whoa, look at that. I think this is the one we gotta look at. And look, another 161. Yeah, 161 immediately. But then we've got your angel number here, one of your angel numbers here of 777. And then another 161.
You know, it's gonna be a lot of people out there that don't like what you're doing. They're gonna call you weird. They ain't gonna understand
Nice.
you. They're gonna hate on you.
I remember
As
this
long as
post.
you like what you're doing,
I liked this one as
that's all that
well.
matters. Keep doing you. You know, it's gonna be a lot of people out there that don't like what you're doing.
Nice. Okay. Let's go back over here. We've got several numbers to work with. So our first number was the 131, and then we got the 252, and then, oh my gosh, I forget what the other numbers were. Maybe. That usually doesn't happen. Maybe I'm not supposed to remember them. But I do remember 161 and 777. What was the number for Slay Queen's video? Anybody remember? I thought it was another portal number, but I didn't. Oh, that was the 252. Never mind. I did write it down. That's why I don't remember it anymore, because I wrote it down. So we're good. So it feels like some of these need to... Oh, that's right. You're right, Tarot Gothis. We have the 155 also. Yes. Okay. You're more right. So we'll get that too. Oh yeah, there was the 123 there too. Yep, 155. Okay. So, I think what we're going to do, cuz it feels like some of these need to be put together. Um and I think that's why they're in, I put them in different colors. Yeah. So, let's start with this first grouping. And all of this is just by intuition because all of these have information, but when some of these vibrations are like really working hard together, then they feel like they need to go together. They feel like they're going to give you more information if you put them together than if you leave them apart. So, like these first two, when you add those up, we get 383. And that's where our three that was missing, our eight that was missing is coming from. So now we have this portal of growth that is bringing forth this eight energy. So here we are again in this 888 portal. And then on, I think I broke this calculator because I used such for all my craziness. Um, and then for these three, so if you see, these are already creating a portal themselves. So if we wrote it out where it was 161, 777, 161. And this is why if you write down like the numbers that you're seeing, you'll see these kinds of patterns. Now what's happening is these 161s are creating a portal for this 777. That's pretty cool. And when you add them together, so 161, before we do that, 161 is actually, I've done a lot of like digging into and really learning about 161. And 161 is the vibration of the word prosperity. But what I found is that it's also all of these other phrases and words. Um, and so when we are like trying to manifest prosperity or money, we actually can be bringing forth a lot of different things. And so, this real quick. So 161 equals prosperity. I'm trying to think of what other ones I can think of right now. Soul contract. And recognize that this is an 8. So we still have an 8-8 portal. But also human experience. And this one always made me laugh. Roller coaster. So the human experience resonates, it vibrates the same as roller coaster. Yeah, that checks out. That checks out. But what this is basically telling us is that this 8 energy, so this 8 energy is not just coming from this 8-8 portal, but it's coming from these other things. Soul contracts is just, it's screaming at me. So I think for you in particular, baby love, that it's something about soul contracts, which are like the agreements that you make as you're coming into this lifetime. So it's like the big, huge lessons that you're meant to learn in this lifetime. That's what is creating this portal to bring forth these angel numbers for you. That's kind of creepy. Why'd that happen on your page? Yes.
Bluetooth connected.
Can you hear me? I think it's my whole system saying it's time to go. I think you can hear me now. I don't know when it stopped being able to hear me, but the message that came through for you, baby love, must just be for you. Yeah, because I think it stopped right along the time when I was getting a message for you, baby love. So I think that might just be for you. So remind me and I can pass that along. But I gotta go. I used the mic too long. I used the system too long. That's why it's just dying now. So I gotta go charge stuff. But we got 2 lives in today. I am gonna go live tomorrow. I'm watching to make sure it doesn't die again. I'm gonna go live tomorrow and talk about gonna start talking about the vibrations of hip hop. So we're gonna look at hip hop as a culture, and as like its own community and entity, and look at what the vibrations are that make up. But we'll be able to apply that to ourselves and to our own lives as well. I'm glad you enjoyed